Welcome to the Becker College Center for Career Education. This presentation will be discussing writing a resume. So why do I need a resume? Well, you need a resume to get the interview. The resume is a way to tell a potential employer or recruiter about who you are and what skills you have to offer. So true or false, resumes should only be kept to one page. I mean, the more the better, right? The answer is both. If you're a student just starting out, you should be keeping your resume to one page. This way you can highlight your most relevant experience instead of including things that paid for your gas in high school, maybe your pizza delivery job. Once you have more experience, then a second page is okay. But I can't fit everything on one page, you might be thinking. Well, consider this. How long do you think employers spend looking at resumes? I know that I have a lot to say, so I'm guessing probably 10 minutes. And that would be wrong. Generally speaking, recent research concludes that employers and recruiters spend roughly 6 to 10 seconds per resume. So where do I start? Well, resume building is much of a science as it is an art. There are many things that you must do, and then other things that depend on who you are and what you want to highlight. To start, everybody should include contact information. This includes your name, address, phone number, any website or email that you might have. Make it as easy as possible for the interviewer or recruiter to track you down. And your name should be the biggest thing on the page. Exhibit A, take notice. Stephanie's name is the biggest thing on the page. She has a professional email with her name in it. She lists her phone number, so this clearly means that she has a professional voicemail if she were to get a phone call to schedule an interview. And she includes her e-portfolio made on Visify and her LinkedIn profile. She makes it very easy for the employer or recruiter to track her down and find out more about her. Some other options if you're in different fields, maybe you'll want to spice up the look or format of your resume a little bit. To start, I would highly suggest keeping it basic. Once you have all the information down, then you can explore making things look a little bit jazzier. So next, start plugging in the information into the different sections of the body of your resume. Generally speaking, every one of you are going to have an education section because you're going to Becker College currently. This will be followed by your experience or leadership and volunteer experience, any skills. If you're in the technical field, you'll definitely want to include any software or programming, and sometimes an interest section if it's applicable. Generally speaking, the objective these days is considered optional, not necessary. If you're going to have an objective, make sure that it's tailored to the specific position and organization and keep it as short as possible. So next comes the education part. You will list Becker College with an expected or anticipated graduation date, when you hope to or expect to graduate. Include your GPA if it's over a 3.0, and of course any of your major or concentration information if you already know that. Next will come your other sections. This could be your experience, your skills, languages, coursework, any of the other sections that you think will apply or be relevant. This will also change depending on the job for which you're applying, but you can utilize any order for your master resume. The rules of the master resume are that there are no rules. The master resume will hold all the information that you'll need to build your tailored resume when you're applying for specific jobs. Consider this, a master resume is like a closet full of clothes. You choose different items of clothing according to the event you're attending. You're not going to wear your pajamas if you're going out on a Friday night, just like you wouldn't wear a pink fluffy dress to a funeral. So the same applies to your tailored resume. You wouldn't include any irrelevant information like your swimming and exercise classes if you're applying for a finance position, unless maybe you're applying for an accounting position at a gym, in which case that information might be relevant. Somewhere in your tailored resume will also be your experience section. This is where you will list all of the other places you have worked, your job positions that are relevant to the job you're applying for. You'll include your title, the company, the location of the company, the date range you worked there, and your job description. Writing a job description is the science part of resume building. You'll always use action words when describing what you did. Maintained, provided, collaborated. You'll use the same language found in the job description of the job you're applying for. This way you'll catch the employer or recruiter's attention. Here's an example of an experience section, a job description of a student here at Becker. He included his title, Quality Assurance Tester, where he worked, Becker College Game Design Department in Worcester, Massachusetts, the time he worked there, and what he actually did. Served as a liaison between upperclassmen production teams from game production and prototyping class and freshman students testing teams. Reviewed and analyzed, conducted meetings, facilitated continuous improvement. Everything listed here is an action. Somewhere on your resume might be a leadership experience or activities. Including one of these sections in your resume can help set yours apart from the rest of the pile. This is what could be different about you. Follow a similar format to your experience section. Include your title if you had one, the name of the organization, and when you actually did that and what your role was. Here's an example of a leadership experience as a resident assistant at Becker College. You can see there's a title, the name of the organization, when this person worked there or held the leadership role, and what was actually done: oversee security, observe behaviors, administer disciplinary action. You may also choose to include your coursework. Typically, if this section is included, coursework will be placed under or within your education section somewhere. If you're in a technical field or have specific programs that apply to the job that you're applying for, you might choose to include your skills or technical skills section. If you're including software programs, you'll want to include the level of proficiency. If you're proficient, intermediate, advanced, expert. If you choose to include a language in this section, you'll also want to include what level of fluency you are: conversational, read and write, or very fluent. Remember, how you choose to arrange your resume and what you include on it will vary depending on the job you're applying for. This is the art part of the resume building. And some more resume writing tips. Using the bold feature is a great way to highlight certain aspects of your resume. When writing in your experience section of your resume, make sure that past experiences are written in the past tense. So collaborated, maintained, provided instead of provide, maintain, etc. Minimize your descriptions by using action words. Never use personal pronouns on the resume: I, me, my. Never use abbreviations unless it's a state. Use easy-to-read fonts. It might be tempting to choose a flashy font to catch the attention, but you want your interviewer or recruiter to be able to read your resume, so keep it simple. And always, always, always have somebody review your resume before you send it somewhere. If your spelling and grammar are wrong in your resume, chances are it's going to end up in the trash. And finally, when your masterpiece is finally ready to be viewed, be sure you're attaching the intended document and not a photo or something inappropriate. It's usually good practice to send a PDF file instead of a Word document so that you can maintain the format. If you have any questions, feel free to make an appointment or call us 774-354-0463 or shoot us an email at careerservices@becker.edu.